Hello, learners. Welcome to the session 3 of our second session, part 3 of our second session, that is governance. In the first and second part, we have already done the majority of our governance, right? This all we have covered. In the part 1, we have covered initiative and program. In the part 2, we have covered institutions, flagship schemes, and the policies, right? In the part 3, we'll be covering funds and the absent portals. Absent portals and the fund, right? Let's quickly start with. First is National Registry of Voluntary Organ Donors. So, Punjab and Haryana High Court have directed the center in the states as Punjab and the Haryana as well as Chandigarh, the UT of Chandigarh, to implement the this particular act, that is Transplant of Human Organs and Tissue Act 1994 in the letter and the spirit. So, this particular organization, that is Postgraduate Institution of Medical and Education Research Chandigarh, they have given the this organization, the institution is asked to constitute a committee of doctors for deliberation of the subjects and to submit a report containing the measures to promote a cavalier donation. Cavalier means donations by the those people who are dead, not by because those who are dead we don't donate, their relatives. So promote the organ donations by the people. When, for example, I'm healthy, right? I can pledge my life. For example, when we say pledge today to save life, you can see here, pledge today to save life. So if I am pledging my life today, so when I'll die, my organs would automatically go to the people, go to the particular organization, it will go to the people. Organ transplantation, organ transfer is a really noble act, right? In ethics, we consider it a an highest level of patriotism, you can say, right? To the fellow people around you. Jeevan Dan, Angdan is Jeevan Dan, donate lives to save lives, right? Okay, coming to the facts. So, committee recommended to create a national registry of donor and a biometric based authentication of donor and the recipient. So, this particular committee was set up by this particular institute, right? And they have set up, they have done this. So, the committee has talked about National Registry of Voluntary Donor Organization, donor organ donors, and unique ID number by the National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization. So this has been a recommendation, and they will do it. Okay. This is just for information that window for the organ donation: heart only 6 to 4 days, kidney for this days, and the procedure what they go through to get this particular how the bureaucratic work is done, how these procedures are done to ensure it, right? Okay. So this is that. Next is Inter Enterprise Architecture, INDEA. So basically, the idea behind this, India as a national standard. So it is idea of having one government, national, state, local government, government as an integrated unit. This is particularly idea which works on this framework. So it is a framework for developing a holistic architecture, treating the government as a single enterprise which are functionally interrelated. Government as a single enterprise. Actually, that's a mains. This question can come on mains, but of prelims, this much understanding is relevant for us. Benefit with IADA, there will be one personalized account for each individual, and he and she avail all the government service from that particular account. You getting my point? So there will be one government and there is one citizen. So you will demand, you get all the information from this government as an entity. There will not be a question that no, this question belongs to central government, this question belongs to state government, this is the local government stuff. No, government as a singular entity, singular integrated entity. Okay, so this is that. So this provides a generic framework. Based upon generic framework, there's some technical things will be there, comprising of set of architectural model to convert a whole of the government architecture, ministry, state government, government agency, right? And this is that. This is again a technical side of things. You don't have to do that. Okay. So just you got the idea behind the INDEA. That's all we need to know for prelims stuff. Next is GIMS, that is Government Instant Messaging System. So it is similar to WhatsApp. First of all, I'll say you see you'll read here also. It's an Indian equivalent of the popular messaging platform such as WhatsApp, which will be used by the central and the government departments of the organization for inter-organization communication. So organization 1 within the organization and organization 2, just like for example one organization from one Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, another organization from, let's say, Home Ministry. So within the organization and inter organization. and they don't want to use the apps like WhatsApp and all, because security issues can be there. And designed and developed by NIC, National Informatics Center. Okay. So advantages of this particular government instant messaging system will be, obviously it will be safer. It is developed in India. The server is hosting it installed within the country, and information stored would be government based cloud. NIC operate data center. It will provision for document, and the media sharing will be there, similar to WhatsApp. So one to one messaging and all these things, right? Next is Ask Disha chatbot. So chatbot, I think you must have seen if you go into any coaching institute website or any website, you have seen this chatbot. It pops up, right? Ki, what do you want? Why you're here? How can we help you? So this chatbot is done for the Indian Railways. It's an artificial intelligence chatbot launched in 2018 by Indian Airways to resolve the queries on the railways passenger over the internet pertaining to the various services offered by IRCTC. Okay, initially it was launched in English. Now it is upgraded to converse in Hindi language as well, and that is why it was in the news. Okay, so on online chatbot Adishat upgraded to converse the railway customers in Hindi language. Right. Next is Bhuvan Panchayat 3.0. So it has been developed by the National Remote Sensing Center of ISRO. Bhuvan platform. So basically Bhuvan is basically getting the shape of getting the earth from your windows, from your laptop, from your desktop. So you'll see what it is. So it's a user friendly web geo portal under ISRO's SIS-DP project, space based information support for decentralized planning, for better planning and monitoring of the government project. So basically geotagging, you have heard of geotagging of the assets of Manrega and all these. This is all done by the programs like this. So, okay, so for example, this particular, for example, Bhuvan, the national geoportal developed and hosted by ISRO, comprising of geospatial data service and tool for analysis. Here you see. So it will provide the visualization of, for example, you see this picture. From satellites, these images will be provided, and these images will be used for the planning. Okay, so this is the ISRO's this program, space based information support for decentralized planning at the panchayat level, right? So it will provide empower community. For example, it can, if integrated, can help in the social auditing, with help in RTI, inventory management, or ensuring the accountability of the officials at this level, right? All these things. So it will provide this Bhuvan Panchayat. It will provide the geospatial service to aid Gram Panchayat development planning process of Ministry of Panchayati Raj. It aids database visualization, data analytics, generation of automatic reports, model-based products and service for the benefit of Gram Panchayat members. For the first time, thematic database on high scale for the entire country is available, with high integrated, high resolution satellite data for the planning. Okay, so this is Bhuvan for us. Okay, so they provide this different multi-resolution models, maps. So this was the news. It launches the Bhuvan Panchayat 3.5 web portal, right? Next is, we have done actually this particular fact, Swachh Nagar app, center's new app for waste collection. So it's an app that will allow user to have waste, solid, wet, or construction waste, construction and demolition waste, C&D waste. Last year it was too much in news, C&D waste, collected by the urban bodies under Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. This ministry, I'll tell you, will be really important for this year, because this ministry was reconstituted last year, combining two ministries, right? And the initiatives of this ministry are really important. Okay, so this is Swachh Nagar app. For this app will allow user to have waste collected by their urban bodies. So the user can now place a request to waste picked up by the local authority from their homes and make payment for the same. So if you see some waste nearby you can go to the app, you can call these people, they will come and they will take up and they will pay for the respective service, right? Okay. Next is Center Equipment Identity Register, CEIR. Central Equipment Identity Register. From the name itself, it is really clear. So it will have a registry of your phone equipment. That's it. So you can see, if your phone lost or mobile, report at the local police station and use this web portal to block the IMEI number. You must have heard of this number, IMEI number, right? You can also visit your telecom provider outlet to get the IMEI number block. So it is the initiative by Department of Telecommunication under the Ministry of Commerce for mobile service provider. Benefit a database like Central Equipment Registry is meant to identify and block the stolen or illegal mobile phone or across the network. So details, every mobile phone provider in the India has a EIR, that is Equipment Identity Register, a database of the phone connected to its network. These EIR will share information with a single database, right? So mobile network provider will provide the information to a central service, and from this, if your mobile is lost, you can go to this place and you can tell them that my mobile is lost and I will be it should be blocked. And I was talking about this IMEI number, right? International Mobile Equipment Identity Number. Every mobile has this IMEI number. Okay, so CIER will have information on the device, International Mobile Equipment Identity Number. Okay, and this unique 15-digit code that precisely identifies the device, model, version, other information. This IMEI number, you personally, you should know the IMEI number of your phone. You should note it down in your mail or something. Mobile phone manufacturers assign the IMEI numbers to each device based upon the range allocated to them by the Global System of Mobile Communication Association. Dual SIM phone will have two EMEI numbers. This question can come because this is a really generic things. Whenever your phone get lost, the police will ask for your IMEI number. Tell me your IMEI number. So it's a very general, commonsensical information, and these things can come in UPSC. UPSC may not ask question on this particular topic, but they can ask question on this very small topic, IMEI number. Okay, so remember that. So it is Central Equipment Identity Register. It will also know if the phone is blacklisted or the reason why it has been blacklisted. Okay, so this is Central Equipment Identity Register. So the advantages and the objective will be discourage the mobile phone theft, curtail counterfeit market, facilitate lawful interception, and all these things. Remember the ministry, METI. Okay. Next is San Sansadhan Hackathon. San Sansadhan Hackathon. So it is by Ministry of Jal Shakti. So water, related to the water. Sansadhan. Sansadhan means resources. Sansadhan is resources. Sansadhan, that is resources. Jointly organized by Ministry of Jal Shakti and empowerment of personnel with disability. And that is why this particular hackathon become important. Why? It's an interministerial coordination, interministerial effort. And especially Ministry of Social Justice is there, in collaboration with the Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog, and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and 91 Springboard. Whenever any initiative is taken by multiple stakeholders, then it becomes important for UPSC. Under Swachh Bharat Mission, aim to make smarter, more accessible and easier to use toilet for personnel with the disability. So Sansadhan Hackathon, you can see. So a nationwide hackathon for Divyang accessible toilets. Department of Ministry of Jal Shakti, Ministry of Social Justice, Niti Aayog, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Accessible India Campaign, and 91 Springboard AIM. These images can help you to reinforce those facts, and that is why we are using these images, right? So it's really important you to revise from these ones. Next is Invis. So it's a 1982 platform, but many of the schemes are based upon this particular system. That is why we are covering it. Environmental Information System. Aim, providing environmental information decision makers, policy maker, providing environmental information to decision makers, policy planners, scientists, engineers, and the research worker all over the country. Okay, so this is Invis system. So it's basically a portal containing a lot of information related to the environment. A large number of nodes such as Invis centers have been established in the network to cover the broad subject areas of the environment with the focal point in MOFCC. It has designed a Infoterra, a global environment network of the. It is designated as the national focal point for Infoterra. So Infoterra is an initiative by the UNEP. Right? So this particular initiative of UNEP for the environmental information This INVIS act as a nodal point in India. You getting my point? For example, in on a global level, UNEP is having this similar thing, right? And that is Infoterra. For Infoterra in India, the designated authority is INVIS. Okay, this is it. Okay. Next is responsibility of INVIS. We have done, just to reiterate, establishment of the linkage of all the information sources and creation of the database on the selected parameters, identification of information gap, public newsletter and bulletins, develop library facilities, and provide support to the focal point subject area and all these things. These things will come into utility when talking about the EIA report and all these things. Next is Pragati. So Pragati full form is proactive governance and timely implementation. Pragati. So basically in this, the Prime Minister interacts with threefold. Secretary of the central level, secretary at the different state level. By the Prime Minister office himself. Prime Minister himself does it. Okay. So what he does, basically, it's a system. So basically for the coordination purposes. Interstate coordination, interstate coordination is there. Right? Okay. So you can see system is a three-tier system consist of PM, Secretary of Government of India, and State Chief Secretaries. PM will hold monthly interaction with the Secretary, Chief Secretary on this via this platform. Interaction will take place on this particular. You don't have to remember it. That is called a Pragati Day. Issue will be discussed as picked out from the database ongoing program. So any pending program, any program which is pending there, or program where some deadlocks are there, where one ministry is fighting the other ministry, right? And it happens, interministerial battles are going on. One ministry secretary is fighting with the other because, for example, the Prime Minister himself has given one of the example in his Mann Ki Baat that one railway bridge has to be one overbridge has to be constructed over the railway line. So there was a fight between Ministry of Roads and Transportation versus Ministry of Railways, and they just needed a coordination. So he said, on the Pragati platform, I told both the secretaries simultaneously, asked them what is the problem, and the problem was resolved instantly, right? And this is how the project delays do not happen, and this is what the idea behind this. Next is SARAL. That is SARAL. The full form is State Rooftop Solar Attractiveness Index. State Rooftop Solar Attractiveness Index by MNRE, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Aim is to evaluate Indian state based upon the attractiveness for the rooftop development. So basically, just like Niti Aayog does, right? Competitive federalism, ranking one state with respect to the other, with respect to the with respect to attractiveness, and this particular attractiveness to investment or health or education. Similarly, this particular index, remember, this is not by Niti Aayog, and that is why this becomes really, really important. Okay, this is not by Niti Aayog, and that is why it becomes highly relevant, important. So it evaluates Indian state based upon their attractiveness for the rooftop development. First of its kind index to provide a comprehensive overview of the state level measure adopted to facilitate rooftop solar development. Rooftop solar development. So this is the index. Basically, you can see Karnataka as the highest grade, and the first state is Karnataka. Final state source rooftop solar attractiveness index. Right. So now designed collaboratively by MNRE, Shakti Sustainable Energy Foundation, ASSOCHAM, and Ernst & Young. So remember, not only the ministry is obviously the nodal agency. Apart from it, the other organizations are also there. What you need to remember, Karnataka is the top state, not Kerala and Tamil Nadu and those things. Next is Parivesh portal. So Parivesh is proactive, responsive, and facilitation by interactive, virtuous, and environmental single window hub. Really big, you can see, really big name. They just want to make a good acronym of it. So Parivesh, proactive and responsive facilitation by interactive, virtuous, and environmental single window hub. Okay, so this, what is this basically? So single window integrated environmental management system. So if you want to have your project, for example, you see here, an online submission, monitoring, and management of the proposal seeking various type of environmental clearance. So if you want to do a project in a particular area, if you want a clearance for that, you have to go to the Parivesh portal, and this will be a single window for you to interact with the government. right? Everything will be available here on the dashboard. Okay, so clearance from the center, state, and district level authorities. It enables project proponent citizen to view, track, and interact with the scrutiny officers. It generates online mail alerts to state functionaries in the case of delays beyond the stipulated time for processing of application. Okay, it generates online mail alerts to state functionaries in this case of the delay beyond the stipulated time for processing the applications. Next is Paisa portal. So it's a portal for affordable credit and interest subvention scheme. So Paisa portal, it is related to first of all is developed by the Allahabad Bank and expected to joined by all the states commercial bank and RRB later on. So portal for affordable credit and interest subvention access. So it is with respect to this particular scheme, that is Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Urban Livelihood Mission. Okay. So it is launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. It's a centralized electronic platform for quicker processing of the loan under this particular scheme. So if you want to, if you want some loans under this particular scheme, Paisa portal will be a single point help for you, right? Aims to connect directly with the beneficiary to ensure that there is a greater service in the delivery of the, if greater efficiency in the delivery of the service. Designed and developed by Allahabad Bank. Okay, and overall ultimately all the banks and all these will be connected. Next is Jan Aushadhi Sugam app. From the name itself, Jan Aushadhi means, Jan Aushadhi scheme is basically related to the generic medication, I know. Sugam app means making it easier to access. So Jan Aushadhi scheme is under Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer, Department of Pharmaceuticals. Department of Pharmaceuticals. Okay, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer aim to enable people to search for Jan Aushadhi generic medicine and the stores at the tip of their finger. To enable people to search for the Jan Aushadhi generic medicine and the store at the tip of their finger. So this is the features of Jan Aushadhi Sugam. So you'll find it store nearby, and from there you can buy the medicine at a very cheap price. So this is Jan Aushadhi portal. Next is Uber for Tractor app. From the name itself, you can see Uber for Tractor. So Uber for Tractor. So getting, for example, in India, the one problem of agriculture is the large portion of the agriculture is the large proportion of Indian agriculture is done by the small and medium farmers, right? Small and medium farmers, marginal farmers, sorry. So they don't have the capital to access this particular technology access. So their economy of scale is not there. When they don't have tractor, they cannot invest in the tractor. So this app particularly helps them to take it for rent, right? So under Ministry of Agriculture, customer hiring center across the from which rent farm equipments can be given, right? So a mobile app to efficiently connect farmer with those custom hiring centers, just like Uber connects to you to the cab. So you don't have to buy the cab, right? The idea behind Uber or Ola is you don't have to buy the car. You just can rent the car for the time being. Similar idea for our farmers. It's really good if it comes to fruition, right? So the farmers don't have to invest in this particular tractor or the other equipment, and they can, for example, single tractor can be used. Single tractors can be used for the different farmer 1, farmer 2, farmer 3. So it will create employment for the supply chain people as well. So people involved in this customer hiring center will get the employment. The farmers will get the service at a cheaper rate. Don't have to invest the capital investment they don't have to do, and they'll get a good yield as well. This is the whole idea. Next is Meghdoot app. So this particular app is developed by Ministry of Science and Ministry of Earth Science and the Ministry of Agriculture. Okay, so it provides location, crop and livestock specific weather based agro advisory to the farmer in the local languages. Okay, so it provides a location, crop and livestock specific weather information to the based agro advisory to the farmers in the local language. Developed by the experts from India, Indian Meteorological Department (IMD) and Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. It is in Pune, NICAR. So getting the information to the farmers, it's a extension service, agriculture extension service. Okay. Next is says Meghdoot app. It's a new mobile app launched to assist the farmers application would be available for the 150 district. It will provide the forecast relating to the temperature, rainfall, humidity, and wind speed and direction. Provide information in the form of images, maps, and pictures. Help in agricultural operations. Okay. Now, finally, the funds in the news. First is Telecom Research and Development Fund. Telecom Research and Development Fund. Okay. So this particular setup by TRAI, that is Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, of initial corpus of 1000 rupees. So from the name itself, it is very clear. Telecom Research and Development Fund for promoting research, innovation, standardization, design testing, certification, manufacturing of indigenous telecom equipment. One of the problem India is facing in its this particular industry is that telecom equipments are not in India. They are not manufactured in India. So we have to import all these things, right? So TRAI calls for zero telecom equipment import by 2022, right? So that is why they have set up this particular fund for promoting the same thing, research, innovation, standardization. They set up this particular fund. Okay, right. Next is I think this is the last one. Credit Guarantee Fund for Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for Micro and Small Enterprise, CGTMSE. Credit Guaranteed Fund Trust for Micro and Small Enterprise. AIM, a fund which provides guarantee for the loan given to the MSE, medium and small enterprises, by Government of India and SIDBI. Remember, SIDBI is there. Okay. In the case of borrower fails to give the loan back, the bank will get their money from this particular fund. The new loan given by the NBFC can also be covered under this fund. Okay. So this is Sukshma and Laghu Udyam Credit Guarantee Fund and Trust, right? Okay. Remember SIDBI, apart from the Government of India. So right, we have finished the governance. We are done. We are done with governance session 2. Now we'll be starting our session 3. In the session 2 governance, we have discussed 3 parts, part 1, part 2, part 3. The big video is divided into 3 parts. I'll suggest you to revise it from the video itself, and then you'll revise it from the PPT, right? So we'll start the international affairs. I have divided international affairs into 2 parts, 1 and 2, and right, and after that the session 4 and session 5 will continue. Right then, see you in the next class, international affairs. Thank you.